Forrest, my dear friend, how are you?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
I'm so good. Oh my goodness, what a journey. What a weekend we've just had.
Oh, what a weekend. Yeah, I feel like seeing you. I've seen you more than Sophie this weekend, by a long shot.
I've seen you more than I've seen my own kids. Yeah.
Yeah. And here we are again.
And here we are again.
What is day 4? We are in each other's company once again, my friend.
We can't keep away. We can't keep away from each other, my friend.
We absolutely can't. We can't. What a weekend, though, mate.
Oh, MCM Comic Con London. It was an absolute journey. It was amazing. We had a stall, dear listener. If you didn't know already, I'm sure you did because we've been talking about it for the last 3 months. We had a stall. We had people chatting to all weekend. It was absolutely delightful. We spoke to hundreds of people. Literally hundreds of people. The environment was amazing, but we're just going to spend this episode talking about MCM Comic Con, and as well, mate, I think we need to address Loki at some point as well.
We do need to address Loki. But don't worry, fear not. If you have not watched the last episode of Loki, there will be a break in between that part of the podcast.
Yeah, don't worry, we'll let you know.
You can chill the beans. It's a spoiler-free until we get there. But, Forrest, speaking to myself in third person, can you please, sir, roll the titles?
There we go. Those are our titles. That is our intro. Here we go. MCM Comic Con. Okay, let's do this as the way we always do in terms of TV shows and the movies that we review in the MCU. Let's just start with our overall kind of feeling summary of how we felt the weekend went. Forrest, you start. How did it go for you? How was MCM Comic Con?
It was beautiful. It was a plethora of sensory driven fun, mate. It was loud, it was proud, it was visually intriguing. It was lots going on. I feel like my life has now got a lot more lightsaber action than it did 3 days ago.
Yes,
a hell of a lot more lightsaber action than I've ever seen in my life. And yeah, what a packed, that's the word, packed 3 days of pure fun, mate. What about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I think every single day had its own special thing. It felt like there was a very particular kind of, I don't know, there was a different array amounts of people that came throughout those 3 days, and the amount of people that you spoke to was just absolutely genuinely quite incredible. And one of the best experiences I'm going to have most definitely all this year. And I think, the where we were situated, we were next to amazing creators, content creators, podcasters, artists, voiceover artists. We were next to some brilliant food stalls, obviously opposite the Sabres as well, the crew that do all their Sabre stuff. It's just so cool. And yeah, we were just in the perfect space, for the whole weekend. And it was so positive and just really nice. I think that's a bit just really nice and heartwarming especially in certain moments. Yeah, I can't. All I'm thinking now is when am I going again? Literally, the moment I got home last night, I knew, because I know MCM Comic Con next is up in Birmingham, I think, in the first weekend of December. And I was like, oh, do you know what? I do work up in Birmingham. It does start on the Friday. I am in Birmingham on the Friday. I could probably go and sort of, have a little look. We'll see what's going on for the half day. So I'm genuinely thinking about getting a Friday ticket just for myself.
Just to treat yourself, mate.
I might do it, mate. I actually might do it.
Is there any guests announced yet?
There are a few, but not many. So I think that's to come.
Okay.
I think it's to come. But like, mate,
Still
I'd
early
be
days,
yeah.
I suppose.
I think I might actually go, to be fair, because it really was that good, and I'm really interested to see what it looks like in the NEC. So yeah.
Let us know. Are you going? Are you headed to Birmingham Comic Con? Let us know. Let Matt know, and Matt can say hello when he's there.
100%.
What a
absolutely.
joy! But yeah, it was outstanding. I mean, we've got each day. I think because up to now I've never done Comic Con for a full weekend, so I've never seen like a Friday Comic Con and a Sunday Comic Con, a Saturday.
Yeah.
And seeing the kind of even the numbers of people, the differing, like, so a lot more families during the week, Saturday and Sunday, obviously. Friday, it was a lovely way to start on Friday, where it wasn't quite as packed. Saturday was absolutely heaving.
It was amazing. Did you see do you remember seeing like the gates? We kind of arrived just at the moment the gates opened. So as we were arriving, because we were quite desperate to like get to our stand and get set up, as we were coming through, we were going to go through the contractor entrance, but we saw the gates open. As they opened, that we just saw a flood of people just come into the hall, and we're like, whoa, this is going to be a busy day. And that was just priority. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I managed to, I had a little walk around Saturday afternoon for about 10 minutes. Forest every now and then got a little bit. And you kind of were like, I was like 20, I kind of like, if I was gone any longer than like 10 to 20 minutes, Forest would be like, where were you? Where were you?
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna fill up the water bottles, Matt. And I was like, yeah, I did, but then I kind of went for a little walk.
Yeah,
I had to though.
You're saying 10 minutes. I mean, 10 minutes felt like 40 minutes, but each to their own. What's an extra 30 minutes, eh, Matt? Whilst I'm, absolutely struggling on my own, like I can barely stand up straight. But don't worry about me, mate. Whilst you're fucking tarting around finding yourself some lovely, what a lovely pair of hats I've found myself at this stall. Honestly, it was like we're in my Bayer, and tourist Matt got the best of him, mate. And he was like, I am here to advertise the podcast, but actually, yes, I would like to try your Avengers cutlery out, please. Thank you.
You can't. This is the thing, right? You can't stick a like 33-year-old nerd like me in a space like that and not be interested by everything that's going around in terms of things are on for sale. I honestly have to have a little look, see what's going on. Oh, that looks interesting. Oh, that looks interesting. Oh, that looks interesting. And then here I am, next thing I know, I buy flipping Thor's hammer.
Look at that. Oh, you've got it there.
I've got it, of course. Mate, it's I'm joint to the hip with this thing right now.
Yeah.
Well, look at it.
400 quid?
400 quid. Don't you dare try and put me in trouble like that.
Yeah, don't. Everybody, his poor children are not going to eat for Christmas, but Matt's got a Thor's hammer, so who gives a shit?
400 quid. It wasn't 400 quid. It was nowhere near that.
No,
but it is decent. It's like a decent little, so it's like a prop replica, let's say. It's not like...
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It's brilliant.
But like I had to look at the shops and stuff. Like again, I know. So this is the thing. Like so, we sort of decided to sort of spend a little bit. We'll get to Sunday later, but I know Forrest, you're not massive with crowds in terms of shopping as well. It's not your thing, is it?
I'm my worst enemy. I'm an Amazon guy, mate. I'm deliveries. It's just lots and lots of people. What didn't help, because I can deal with that. That's absolutely fine. Last year we went. It wasn't too bad. I think what was bad this weekend is we both had quite heavy bags on us as well. And the idea of going around like a very populated small area with very heavy bags on your back and to your side is quite like, I felt like it was almost, it was getting up to Takeshi's Castle level of madness, where I was about to absolutely like make a five-year-old child pass out because I was going to slap them accidentally with a bag. So.
I mean, there were moments. Okay, so these are the moments that the people that when we were talking to didn't see. Is that obviously Forrest, at Comic Con was happy as Larry, talking to everybody by the stand, absolutely on it, right? But there were moments when the Comic Con day ends and we get back on the tube, we're a busy tube, Oh,
It's not.
then the beast forest comes out. Then we get a different side of forest. Oh, mate, it's too hot in here. I gotta get out of here, mate. We gotta make a decision. Where are we going, Matt? Where are we going to eat, Matt?
I would like you are shoved me under a lot of buses here, Matt boy. You've seen me. You are metaphorically getting Thor's hammer and shoving me in the neck here, mate. I can't breathe. But I must say, my side of events was, yes, that did go on, but what I had to cope with, dear listeners,
don't say it.
I had to cope with Matt's lack of actually sticking to one plan. So we were sat on a tube, and he's like, we'll go, Forrest, we'll go to Camden. No, and then literally a tube later, oh, well, no, actually, let's go to the north of London. No, I tell you what, it's a bright idea, Forrest. On Halloween, on Saturday night, when we both are feeling a little bit tired, let's go to central London and go to a pub. That'd be a great idea for us. Let's get off at King's Cross, for us. That'd be great. Honestly.
But mate, it doesn't help when you're fucking in the tube going, oh mate, I can't take this. I gotta get out. I'm so angry, I'm so tired. It's like I felt pressurised to make all these decisions, and I got like decision paralysis in my brain. I couldn't do anything. I was looking at your poor soul. I was like, my dear Forrest, he's about to melt. He's about to pass out in the tube. What am I going to do?
Rather than suggest the next tube, mate, you're thinking, oh well, there is one in about. If you could just hold off for about 10 more stops and we could get ourselves a little bit closer. How about that? 10 more stops. How about half an hour more on this hot tube? How about that? Go on.
I felt like I really pushed you through the ringer there, and as well. So it was the arrival. So we had an amazing free digs for the weekend, courtesy of my brother-in-law.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, thank you. Like we were hella lucky there. And so in order to travel there, we had to get to Archway, and Archway has a really long hill on the way up to sort of like Highgate Way. And well, we didn't know that a hill was good. I didn't know that a hill was going to be there, but you flipping presumed I did. You thought I'd wind you up. So Forrest was already tired. He was already out of breath. We were already carrying all of our bags as well.
He was already out of breath.
I had 2 kilograms of sweets in a bag with stickers. So I was like, we've got to make these sweets for Saturday, mate. We've got to make this. So we did, right? So but I was carrying the heavy bags, but behind me was a Forrest dragging his heels, being like, oh, mate, this is a stitch up. You've done this on purpose, mate. You've done this on purpose.
Yeah, honestly, if I could tell you, listeners, think about the Cheshire Cat's grin and think 10 times the fucking size of that. I'm trying to get my fat ass up a hill, and I've got Matt looking at me like butter couldn't melt, with the biggest fucking smile on his face. Literally, you were thoroughly enjoying yourself, mate. I could have passed out and gone in a 5-week coma, and I'd have woken up the other side to you pissing yourself, mate. Well, at least we had a good innings on the Friday. What a good Friday we had.
So funny.
And at least I got myself a Thor hammer, so I'm well happy.
Hang on, here we go. I'm listening to the video. This is the video.
You're taking a fucking piss, bloke.
Oh god,
so good. But I mean, that just kind of made it all that better. Like, and as well, we got a really good sleep. I think that whole weekend as well. So I think it kind of made the experience even better in a way. But anyway, that's the bits you didn't see. But let's talk about the things that if we got to speak to you, you were at Comic Con. Let's talk about those moments. But I think before we do, what we do need to do is do exactly what we said we were going to do over the weekend, is give a shout out to everyone that has followed us over this past weekend. And now we're talking about over 120 people that have followed us. That is genuinely, and as well, and being real for a second here, that is an incredible number for us, and incredibly amazing, for both of us in terms of this project, in terms of this podcast. Again, we are a new podcast technically. Let's be honest. We've only been going for about a year and a half. next door to us was the amazing RPG D&D podcast, The Danger Club. They've been going on for 500 plus years with 200 and something episodes. They've got their content is amazing. And they've been going on for, a lot longer than us. And it's actually quite inspiring to see the stuff that they were doing in terms of building up their audience as well, the people that we're talking to. And it kind of felt, it really was actually quite a really lovely environment being with those guys next door to us. But again, like having these 120 plus people that have followed us and you guys talking to us and spending time as well in your day to come and talk to us as well, genuinely means a lot. Because we're really passionate about this project, and we really hope that we sort of came across with the energy that we have on this podcast, with the passion that we have for this project as well, and for it to be a long reigning one as well. So if you are new, we're going to give you a shout out, and we just want to say you are now a dear listener, and you are part of this amazing journey. Come join the dear listener bus, because this is going to be a journey for many years to come. So
and I think when I first said on Friday, give us a follow on Instagram, we'll give you a shout out in the next podcast. I was kind of hedging my bets that it would be about 20. So when we passed 100, there was a small layer of regrets on my part for adding that. But I'm excited to say a load of names. Are you, Matt?
I absolutely am. We're going to absolutely have to hammer through this as quickly as we can, because I think this could take half an hour. So let's go for it.
This will be great. But yes, I would like to echo Matt's thoughts before we do. Thank you so much to everyone. We had some great conversations with some brilliant people. If you followed, if you've liked, if you've gone to Spotify and followed us, if you've gone on Apple Music and reviewed us, any engagement we really appreciate. Please drop us an email, drop us a message. Don't be a hero podcast@gmail.com. We love to hear from you. That's why we're doing what we're doing, right? We want to talk to you about your love of Marvel, DC, and anything superhero. Now that's done, let's go, Matt. Let me begin the reel of names.
Okay, all deep breath in, Forrest.
Would you like to mute yourself so they get their full moment? Oh, here we go.
Will, mate.
Right.
Go.
Hello, dear listeners. So, we have decided to put the name shout-outs at the very end of the episode. Basically, there were so many of you that followed us over the course of the weekend that it took about 5 minutes to read out all of the names. And rather than bore you to tears for 5 minutes, we decided to shove at the end of the episode. So, I'm going to take you after the shout-outs. Enjoy the rest of the episode, tune in to the very end, and you'll hear all of the wonderful followers. Thank you for your engagement, and over to the rest of the podcast. Ciao for now. Also, whilst we're talking engagement, I popped out on Instagram just before we came on and asked people if they got anything to add to the podcast in regards to Comic Con or Loki. We've had some responses. With Nelly Lavender has said poo PP. Thank you so much. Well, lovely addition there, Nelly. I believe that's my good friend Josephine. Thanks for that, mate.
All right.
Anton Kino Love says your favourite Marvel series. What is your favourite Marvel series?
I think I said it a few months ago now on our podcast when we were reviewing it, and it's got to be WandaVision.
WandaVision. Oh, yeah, great. Yeah, great show. I think mine is, I think it's gearing up to be Loki Series 2, my friend.
Really?
Yeah, yes. And we're about, we'll go into this, but it's getting it's getting knocked a lot, mate. It's quality TV.
Okay, we'll talk about it later.
All right, Road Matt's on the way. Look at him. Talk about it later. Lovely.
All right. Well, got any more comments?
We have one's about Loki from Elliot McMillan. I believe he was in your show. Good old Elliot, was he? No?
Elliot, he was my John Silver. Absolutely legend.
Yeah, he's a legend. He said, Loki blew my mind. There is now even more endless possibilities. Where do they go now? That was just enough to be a non-spoiler, that one.
That was just a little bit.
That was all right. That was we can have that.
But
yeah, I will read out any more we receive over the next 20 or so minutes. But yes,
amazing.
Thank you to everyone who followed us. You know, amazing to have you all on board. And yeah, listening to this as your first podcast. Where normally they're a bit more. They'll be structured a little better than this. And normally, Matt doesn't spend 15 minutes absolutely rinsing me. So, sometimes we get along. Sometimes it's a really nice vibe, but today Matt's taken a Thor hammer and shoved it up my arse. But
we're a bit tired. We're just a bit tired. A little bit fatigued. A little bit exhausted.
Yeah, that's it.
I think before we move on to talk about Loki and stuff, obviously, I'm not finished with the MCM chat just yet. Just because I think, going back to kind of the weekend and start talking about it in sort of in more depth. I think we spent the whole weekend not only talking to people but also taking pictures of people in cosplay. So a lot of those followers are the cosplayers that we spoke to, and just seeing as well. So for me, bit of background in terms of my history with MCM Comic Con. The first one that I went to was in 2004, I think. And back then it really was just kind of the small part of the hall. It was kind of in the corner. There wasn't that much at all. There was kind of stalls. You had the meet and greets, all that kind of stuff. But in terms of the magnitude of what MCM Comic Con now is for London, it's absolutely huge. It is one of the biggest ones out there, and globally. It's up there with the San Diego's Comic Cons. And I think
San
Diego. But I think when you see the community that it brings, and the genuine, there are people that go every time, every May, every October, to meet their friends, to meet new friends, to be with their people, to be with their community, for people to be in a space where they feel accepted, where they feel part of a group. That is what it is all about, and I think I feel incredibly proud to be part of that this week, that past weekend for us as a podcast. That's what we're about too. And I know Forrest would advocate for that as well. So it's just,
absolutely.
That's again something that I'm like, I can't wait for my girls to come to Comic-Con. I can't wait for to do like a whole family trip, to bring more friends to come and experience that kind of weekend. I came home last night and saw my own friends. Some of my friends have never been to Comic-Con before, and one particular friend was like, "Oh, what's it like? What is it? What is it?" And do you know what? It was really amazing just to kind of tell them exactly what it is, and and them kind of going, "Oh my god, that sounds quite cool. I'd quite like to go." So I think not only did we got that, we had that feel every single day. As we were kind of leaving every podcast, every Comic-Con, going, "Oh my gosh, my legs hurt. Oh my gosh, I've got no voice." It means that we've been talking to people and having an amazing time with the amount of sheer energy that we're feeding off of each other as well. It doesn't surprise me when people say it is the best weekend of my life. It's something I look forward to all year. It's the one thing that I really enjoy. Of course it is. When you're in an environment like that, it's incredible. And I think a huge shout out to the organisers, to the stewards, to everybody that worked on MCM Comic Con London. Huge. And again, we are not sponsored by Comic Con right now. I just want you to say that as well. We are not sponsored by MCM here. All right, Reed Pop have not sponsored us. I am just saying, as somebody that was there as a stallholder, as somebody that was promoting our product. Genuinely, it was an amazing experience, and I feel very special to be part of it. And congratulations for creating something so special for so many people. Genuinely, yeah.
But if we do come again next year, then 2 beers delivered to the table once an hour will be, it would be lovely. if it happens, that'd be nice.
Yeah, it'd be nice to it'd be nice to get a hotel paid for, so Forrest doesn't have to walk up a really big hill or get stuck in a tube, maybe, or sweaty and exhausted and angry.
Yeah, and if you can find me a co-host that's fucking decisive, that'd be really nice as well, Rick Popular. That'd be great. Yeah. Tell you what, Danger Club, if you got anyone who fancies taking this guy's place,
Gosh, those guys were so great. Honestly, Danger Club, right? We're getting on. I'm saying it now. We're getting on that podcast, and you're getting on ours. It's happening. We're putting it out there.
Absolute legends they were.
Yeah, really
lovely. I echo all of Matt's thoughts. I think, and also, the only thing I will add is that I don't think I really grasped until this weekend just the sheer commitment that goes into cosplay in general. Like the months or years preparation. Like, so Comic Con just released about the dates for next May, right? Tickets haven't gone on sale yet, but people were commenting, going, "Yeah, already sorting out my cosplay, already designed it, or already thinking about it." It is an absolute endurance sport. Right, you've got to you've got to really commit yourselves financially, but also mentally to be able to prepare for that. And I'll just little round of applause, bit of kudos,
absolutely,
for everybody who did that. It was some fantastic cosplay on the show.
Really was,
including the guy that had a Tesco Value cosplay. Big fan.
You loved that so much, didn't you? You thought it was so clever. It was really good.
It was genius. It was brilliant. It brought a bit of Cosy Lives to the occasion. You know?
What? Cosy Lives to the occasion. It is, yeah.
It did. Brought a little bit of cost of living crisis to the old state of affairs. Big fan.
Love it. Yeah, no, honestly, and we can't talk, can't mention every single cosplayer that we saw, but like in terms of, the people that we did see, honestly, maximum effort from all of you. Like, a huge amount of respect. Genuinely. I wouldn't know where to start with that, especially for those people that genuinely spend all that time making it as well. Wow, what a thing, what a talent. Brilliant. Okay. Anyway, that's MCM Comic Con. I feel like that kind of wrapped it up with a bow.
That did.
I think it did, didn't it?
We're doing a Rowan Atkinson in Love Actually. We've taken our sweet time. We've gone through all the magic. Yeah. He's tied it up. He's finally given it to Alan Rickman, who is now slightly worried about his wife catching him out. It's nice to accept that last bit of cheating that I just added there. But ignoring that part of that scene, just the Rowan Atkinson bit. That's done in a bow. Let's talk about Loki.
Let's do that. But before we do that, if you have not watched Series 2 of the Loki, particularly the previous episode, which would be episode 4 of Loki Series 2, please, dear listener, use this as an opportunity for us to say to you personally, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Do come back next week. We're going to be talking about She-Hulk. It's going to be a big one for us to talk about. I'm actually genuinely quite excited to talk about it. If you know us, still listener by now, we have spoken about She-Hulk before, and I'm interested to see what different thoughts, or maybe not, we have next week. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. You can depart if you want to, but if you have watched Loki Series 2, Episode 4, stick around, because we've got something to talk about, haven't we, Forrest?
We do indeed. Ooh. We'll see you on the other side of this ad break. Never done that before.
Well done. That was No. I applaud you.
We've never done a commercial break in the proceedings. There you go. That's a new one.
I wonder what it was. I wonder if it was like, I don't know. Usually Amazon ads come up in our podcast quite a lot. We're probably promoting some sort of. Imagine if it was Loki. Imagine if Disney Plus right there putting a Loki ad.
I mean, that would be some genius. That would be complete genius planning on their behalf.
Wouldn't
but
it?
it won't be. It'll be L'Oreal for men. Oh, grab yourself L'Oreal for men. Oh, it's exactly the same as all the other shit, but we'll just make it slightly cheaper because we're bastards.
Dan
Enjoy
doesn't
it.
know the price of his car. He's trying to find a quote. Come to us at Us Cars. We do cars, trade cars, sell cars, buy cars.
Hello, I'm Alan, and I've got a gardening podcast. You can come and listen to me, Alan, talking about gardening on Gardening Alan. Providing you all the gardening tips you could ever want or wish for. Gardening Alan. All terms and conditions apply. See you on Amazon Prime. Anyway, to be fair, what we've just done there is a nice little voice reel for anyone who does fancy getting us on to do the adverts. There you go.
Or get on a certain RPG podcast. I don't know. Either or. I don't know.
We're not fussy.
Anyway, Loki. Let's talk about Loki.
So, what on earth happened? So it was already going cracking. I love the series. I think it's great. I think the introduction of OB, I think the introduction of Victor Timely has been brilliant in my view. I really think it's good. I think that the emphasis on the right characters has been there. So although it is a Loki series, we've seen more Miss Minutes, which is great. Loved her. A bit of Ravonna in there. I'd still like a little bit more Ravonna, quite frankly. And what I really hope, Matt, is that the reveal that we got this week isn't the only reveal for Ravonna. So when Miss Minutes said, I've got something to tell you, you're not going to be happy about it. So me and Matt messaged a little bit. And I said to Matt that I'm really hoping that Ravonna turns out to be a Loki variant. Because then what you've got is three people who've got very, very different views of Kang. So you would have Ravonna, who's really linked to Kang, almost, may I say, looks like there might be a relationship there, or they're very, very close. They've worked together for a long time, possibly. Then you've got Loki, who's just using Kang for his own gains and the wider gains of the TVA and the world, dare I say it. And then you've got Sylvie, who's just out and out. I want to kill you, Kang. We don't need Kang for anything other just to kill him and live a life without him. So I think it'd be quite nice to have that little triangle of different Lokis all trying to get different objectives from Kang. That's what I would like.
Well, okay, so we all know what we saw at the end of this episode, the explosion of the temporal loom, with then all the timelines and the multiversal timelines with it. Now, Rachel has just walked in the room, and I know that she hasn't seen the episode. Do you mind if I continue to talk, or are you intending to watch Loki?
I'm going to have a wee.
Oh, okay.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, I tell you, don't worry about giving us an answer, right? You just tell all the dear listeners that you're out to. But
You can have a wee. It's okay. But you didn't answer my question. I'm about to talk about spoilers from Loki Series 2, Episode 4.
I am working my way through Midsummer Murders.
Okay, cool. That's a. I don't care. Oh no. All right. Forrest.
Midsummer Murders. Midsummer Murders.
Don't judge. It's her thing.
I'm not judge. No, I did. I absolutely judged. But wow.
Just smack my face with the Thor's hammer. Ow. You will get to it, but we're about to.
Watching things without me.
Well, I had to watch it because it was work related.
The new
Wait.
Marvel film without me as well.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, here we are.
Here we
Here
go.
we go. Oh God. Matt's in the doghouse. Here he goes.
There we go.
He bought a PS5 3 weeks ago. Spent the whole weekend with me this weekend. Oh, honest to God.
I'm trying to get her on Baldur's Gate. You know, I did try to convince her this morning.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did.
I thought she was playing it with you. She's not playing Baldur's Gate with you.
Don't no, because that's another thing that I've potentially now left her out not doing.
Oh, I
You
see.
just went, you're not playing with us. Oh, you're playing with her, isn't it? No, you've made him. Forrest.
Oh, well, that's all right. That's all right, Matt, because you chucked me under a bus for 20 minutes of this podcast. So. But yes, end of Loki.
Anyway, Loki.
Victor Timely goes out. He has to fix the world in his own way. It's something about a loom. There was a lot of terminology in this episode, quite frankly, Matt.
Well, but,
and there's a lot of words out there. He had to.
That's why I was about to lead it, but it's.
Oh no! All right, Mr. Wordsworth, Matthew. I will allow you to carry it on, mate. He's fixed it. Was he fixing the loom? He was doing something about the loom. He had to turn the loom towards the station. He popped on a suit. He had to walk outside.
Yeah, he helped fix the loom, all that kind of stuff. But also, his temporal aura was the only person that could open up the gates to get out.
Yes,
to
his aura.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is also a slight plot hole in his own right, because technically he's not actually the He Who Remains, but whatever. That all happens. We all know what happens. It kind of cuts to black, and the next thing we know that we are left in silence, complete silence, like for a worrying kind of amount. It was such a dare. I think it was kind of like are we going to do this? Yeah. K-Dog's like, yeah, we are going to do this. And we're going to do it in this episode. Like that is like a series-ending situation. So I'm really happy that it's happening in episode 4, because we're going to hopefully fix this issue going forward for the last 2 episodes. But we're currently in this kind of space right now where everything has gone. The multiverse has gone. The sacred timeline of 616, Earth 616, the story, the golden thread, everything that we have been working and watching and talking about and learning and loving, all these characters and stories, has gone. So we are left with nothing. So how we get out of that, genuinely, and what's great, and I think this is great, I think this is something that we need, because we cannot but theorize. And we cannot, but as well, genuinely don't really know what's about to happen and how they get themselves out of this. Of course, there's theories out there. And I think one theory for me is that I think what's happened, judging again, we can only judge by what we see in the teaser trailers for the next episode, is that we are getting some sort of flashback episode, because we might have a moment where the temporal... not the spaghettification that Loki has will happen and go into play from that moment he shuts his eyes from the white beam that comes towards him. So I think he kind of goes into a different dimension just in that split second before everything goes to pot. And then hopefully we'll kind of work with variants and different timelines and sort of back to the future-y kind ofness to it, and fix the sacred timeline from that point onwards. How that happens, God knows. But what a moment, though, mate! What a moment!
Oh, what a moment! I'm more of the belief that I don't think we're going to pick up from where we've left off. I think we're going to go back to his timey-wiminess of episode 1, where he was time slipping. So I think we're going to go flashback to episode 1, where he's time slipping, and then he's going to, and there will be places that he slipped to that we never saw originally.
I would say yes, but was he wearing a jacket when that was happening?
Yeah, he must,
because he's wearing a jacket in the, in the previous episode he was wearing a jacket, and he's wearing a jacket in the teaser trailer for episode 5. So I wonder whether it is that one that we're looking at, and the one that you're talking about isn't that one.
Yeah, but two things to that: they could stick any costume in a trailer. They're, especially a teaser trailer for something.
Oh yeah, that could be.
That could be anywhere.
That could be a red herring. Yeah.
But also, I think it will be quite like the last episode we just had, where he purged a Loki, didn't he? Not purged. That's not the right word. What word did they use? Not probe. He didn't probe Loki. Wow, that's a different show. He pruned his other Loki, and I think we're going to get another Loki will come into that room and have to yeah there'll be some probing, but yeah. We're gonna time slip all over the shot, and that be the reason. There'll be no probing to be had, thank you.
My man. Hold on, okay.
I have some questions though, which is one, the Marvels movie that's coming out, given what's just happened, and even whatever does get sorted in the next 2 episodes, it's quite obvious that Loki is going to link to Deadpool, right? It feels to me like there's going to be that's going to be the link is Loki, Deadpool. That's why we get Wolverine. We're going to get all of these different people coming in, right? It's another multiverse use. So Marvel's film. I'm assuming they're going to play around with time, and that's not going to be, happening now. Otherwise, it's going to feel very fucking like, we'll just shoehorn this in whilst everything else is going on. Because I don't imagine Kang's going to turn up. I don't imagine like anything that's of any, particular relevance is going to show up. So that's one question. What about the Marvels? And also, as we also know, Deadpool has now been delayed, with rumours that Captain America will be released before Deadpool. Now, I don't know how that's going to happen if Deadpool is going to follow on from Loki. It all kind of felt like they've got to be very careful how they proceed, because otherwise Captain America and the Marvels could feel very much like very external projects.
We've got to remember the Writers Guild, the strike's finished. They've come back to the writers' room. They may have made big decisions and quick ones as well in terms of these changes, as they've gone straight back to work and realised, actually, let's play this story first. I don't know. I genuinely don't know what the answers are to that, obviously. But I think the one that I think I can say from the Marvels is that we did hear that the Marvel's director said there isn't much of a link really in terms of what's going on with Kang in the Marvels. We're likely to see some sort of tie-up from Secret Invasion, but I'm not going in when we watch the Marvels on the 10th of November, mate. I'm not going in with the expectation to see any time of multiversal timey-wimey fix or inclusion in that movie. I think it will be a standalone movie with a little bit of Secret Invasion time from the series, and that will be it. And that will be the end credits, and that'll be it. And again, that's not me going, it's because it's going to be crap. It's not. I really hope it's not going to be crap, right? And actually, to be honest, I think there might be some really funny moments in this, and I'm going in with lower expectations, with the hope to be impressed by it. That is where I'm at with that, with the Marvels.
Yeah, I'm very. The Marvels feels like a very weird release time. I'm not really sure. But
of course, who was saying it? It was Andy. Andy was saying it's difficult to promote the movie because of the strikes. That's why there's no hype around it.
But the strikes hasn't affected that film at all, though. It's affected the marketing, but the actual film was always due to release after Loki 2. None of that release. That release was set last year, way before any of these strikes came to fruition. So that's what I don't understand, is why they thought that was surely bunging the film before this series of Loki came out would have made far more sense. Because you would have had Secret Invasion, Marvels, then Loki, then gear, upper gear, working towards Avengers Kang Dynasty. Now we've had Secret Invasion, Loki. We've got a random Marvel's film that's going to completely ignore the entire every timeline is just completely gone. It's just ignoring that. And I think that's why, as a viewer, it's going to be a very, very hard watch. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be good. But from an MCU POV, I can't quite work it out.
The other thing for me, I think, going back to Loki, I'm not 100% confident that we're still going to have Jonathan Majors as Kang. I'm still not. I as much as the allegations are kind of wrapping up, and there are developments with the accuser being arrested recently as well. These are all reports. Please don't take that as fact, dear listener. All right, but it's difficult to tell again how they're treading this. And obviously they had to do it with Loki because it was integral to the story. They would have had to do a complete reshoot and would have been delayed by another year with this series. So they've gone for it. But we are coming to the tail end of these episodes, which means they could have done some re-edits. They could have done some, reshoots. We might be seeing this. I'm still wondering whether we either get a recast of Kang, where it might be Renslayer going forward, or Loki himself takes that.
Well, I would not be surprised if they have cleverly done this so that the very last scene of this series, we see Loki in the He Who Remains chair.
We can see he can change time right now.
I can literally see him sat in the chair with his headpiece on, original Mischief Loki, looking like glancing at the camera, smile, fade to black.
Yeah.
And then literally everyone's just like, wow, game changer.
Like we could, we really could see this kind of thing where it's like, oh no, it was Loki all along, or like Loki has changed the timeline.
Can we have it? It was Loki all along, but have the same song.
It was Loki all along.
Absolutely brilliant. Having a Loki version of that that would make my day.
But the minute where we saw the Court of Kangs at the end of Quantum Mania, there's nothing to say they could kind of go back to that. But in that case, then they replace it with different types of variant of Lokis. You could reinvent that moment, and then all of a sudden, our sacred timeline is just a skewed now, different dimensional version of that, and we are then moved from the 616 is moved into a new 616. Which is telling something slightly different, which would then also potentially undo people's deaths, like a certain Iron Man's. We could potentially have an Iron Man that didn't die at the end of Endgame. We could go to this is the thing, like there's rumours that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back and all that kind of stuff. So maybe this is what that is. We are just thrown into a different timeline.
I'm putting on my wild theory hat. Which is the same, my wild theory hat that said Obadiah was Thanos, right? Which is will still come out as true one day. But
I genuinely thought you let go of that by now, mate. Come on,
no.
That's a year ago.
Yeah, I know, but we got no peeps. We got no people, so I got to tell the new people who follow us that that was my original thought process. So when it does come to fruition, they know how to source. But what about crazy theory? What if Kang was always a variant of Loki, and it was the mischief, very dark side of Loki, which wanted Loki to kill him in order to ensure that Loki had access to all branch timelines?
My brain melted a bit there.
By getting his variant to kill him, that meant that Kang, right? That's the whole reason why Kang is now ruling like all of these different, right? So that was Loki's mission all along, was to get his variant to kill him. Yeah. But that's it though, isn't it? That we've got to remember Loki, who he is. He is a god. He said it himself in the previous episode. We are gods. Shift mischief. Like he's got so many powers that we have not seen necessarily for a while. And I would 100%. If he could be He Who Remains, this whole time, and he made himself kill him so that he knew he would then rule, every single kingdom out there.
There's a possibility here of kind of going to Jonathan Majors here from an actor standpoint. Really sorry this hasn't turned out. Thank you for what you have given us. This is how we're going to wrap you up, and this is how we're going to move forward. And kind of having a no hard feelings kind of situation here. It's not ideal. Of course it's not ideal. But there is a potential here of maybe breathing something fresh, something really new, something unexpected as well. And I think that's maybe this is the reason why we keep people talking about this episode. This is driven a load of buzz back into the MCU this episode. It's because we didn't see it coming.
No.
Everything from the MCU has been predictable, let's be honest, since Endgame, mate.
Well,
formulaic work.
And I will juxtapose the last 20 minutes of us talking by saying that in the very last episode, Miss Minute said to Ravonna, "You're not going to like this." And all it was exactly what we knew this whole time because we heard it in episode 1. So, after all of this, it could literally just be that Loki sorts out everything, gets it back to that same day. Victor Timely doesn't die. He fixes the loom, and then we move on. And everything is exactly the same. So I will juxtapose it. This could be the most boring cliffhanger in the world. I don't think that's the case. I don't think they would go this far to then revert all of that needlessly.
They can't. You've got to look at all the amazing stuff that Star Wars has done recently with their work in wrapping up plot holes, timelines of characters and stories and narratives of characters. Ahsoka, Andor, brilliant series, and they did it so well with such justified brilliance in being true to the franchise of what Star Wars is. Like, this is what we need from the MCU. In talking about over the weekend, there were so many people we also spoke to. We were like, "Hey, do you like the MCU? Do you like superheroes?" And they look at you and they're kind of like, they looked at us and we were like, oh, they were like, "We do, but not at the moment." It's like, yeah. And I was, we were talking about, we were like, genuinely, yeah, no, it's weird. It's in a weird place. It is in a weird place. The fan base at the moment feeling like, do I like it? I don't know. I don't think I do right now. And we're losing people. We are losing people. So it's about bringing those people back. How do you bring that back? By doing something like this, but being daring, finding new ways, new exciting ways of building stories, and not being so formulaic, and just fucking building some suspense, man. Like, that's it. Yeah, mate. We'll have to wait and see, but that will have to come at our next monthly news episode, because next week we have got to talk about She-Hulk.
We are back in the phase 4. We're going with She-Hulk. I think we got to wrap phase 4 in the bud before Christmas, my friend. Well, we've got to try. We might not be able to, but we are definitely going to hit that Marvel universe like there's no tomorrow, and make our way through She-Hulk and everything else, so that we will be at phase 5 by next year, my friend. We would have reached phase 5.
Crazy.
Big times ahead. But thank you for listening. Drop us an email at don'tbeaheropodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram. Drop us a rating on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, all that usual stuff. Thank you very much. See you on the flippity flip.
See you later.
We have got our movie room. Yes, Tom today. Ross the Geeky. Nina sometimes okay. Julie Disney Diva 505. Cy Morton. Victoria Clay. Savage Photography. Salix T. Brimful of Asher. Paddy Ocon. Loked T, Reg Jill 13, NYX 6851, Marcus T Fraser, Artist Effie, Veronica Hudson 42, Corbin Kana Knit, I can't even say that, but you're there. Thank you. Bobby Arthur 1, The Becoming Better Journey, Aiden Does Things, Cowboy Trackster, Noxus, Cause I Did This, It's Glitter Girl, Erratic Eel, Moride 96, Matt HJ5, Ivo Noteboom, Robster Photography, Campbell Hook, B21 2001, Nope Man the One Cosplay, Ash Ryan Reeds, Neon Netical, Oskin Giannijic, Christopher MacArthur 1, Cokes, Christian 96, Shem J 16, I'm Leo.co.uk, Wild Peak Films, Doty, Bobby 90, Aperture Bricks, Cinemappa app, Hornhead, Faith Liani Arts, Anastasia Harold 94, Ty Cage, Connor Cook, Kimmercat Tiger, Wolfie Cosplay, Glenn Higgins Fitness, Red Head 134, Amim Ha, Bink Steel, Alien Alienware Art, Rosenheide, Mr. Ted's, The Library of Imagination, Tyrone Hines, I Do A Lot, Brad Cook 0888, Fagan John 109, and Kezkan Montog. I believe it's over to you.
And that is not all. Yeet Memes 28, J Goldman 106, Cinema Popcorns, Verividity, Katie J Bray, Ethan Henry Allen, IRMVL, Ickle Naomi, Sarah Chin 80, looks like 10 LA Jenkins, Nessa K 38, Exhausted Piggy on cosplay, amazing, Reraku 134, Picket Bananas, Towisha, Let's Talk Terror, Empire Dice UK, Louise Samantha Rowe, Tony Ukulele, who is amazing, by the way. Alice Thackeray, the Con Dog Beer, Isabella SJ, the Puppet Powers, Dave YG 2609, Multi Callum, Alon Thought, Al or No Thing, all on nothing cosplay, Dyslexic, Kayla Horner, Swan Kurt, Penny B1794, Emmy Bayfield, Tool TV, Media Collector 92, Ash Light 98. That was the guy with the amazing t-shirt with the Joker Queen on his t-shirt. It was amazing. Rocket Raccoon UK, J Gerard 07. I am Ed Jeddy, or I am Ed Terry. Oh wow. Do you see the one that I'm looking at? Naomi. I feel that's on purpose. I feel like you did that on purpose for us, knowing that we were going to do this.
They have absolutely fucked you over there.
They have. Bevy CJ, Old Young Ad, W Cadkins 0807, Rafi 20050, Mr. Film Stock, The Geek Monty, Frey Jace Gentry, Muse Ronin, Cuddle Emily. Oh my goodness, there's more. Duniek A_A, Emery Lewis 94, Real Comic Heroes, Vegan _ of Vengerberg. Oh my goodness, there's more. Movie Picker Rap, Black Hawk Assassin's Cosplay, DWF7, The Pengler, Quick Cosplays, OXMRK, that's like a Wi-Fi pin, 1DXO, Troubled Pixie 86, Dave 30 Mac, Reverie Hall Podcast, Pete Draycott, Jamie Reed, and Tom 192. My days.
Fantastic work.
I mean,
thank you to everyone. That's amazing, right?
That is actually mental. That is mind-boggling. Wow. Like, we've never had that kind of engagement before on our Instagram, and that is just on Instagram alone. There's also people that on YouTube have subscribed to us over the last weekend. Thank you to you guys who have, like Forrest was saying, downloaded our episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever as well. Mate.
It's
wow.
amazing.